What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. We have had the FA Cup round of fixtures. It's time to look ahead to my first transfer plans for double game week 22. What is up, everyone? FPL Harry here, and today we're having a look at my first transfer plans for the upcoming double game week 22. Of course, both Leeds and Manchester United secured their places in the next round of the FA Cup, meaning that our double game week 22 is secure, it is locked in, it will be happening. So today, after the FA Cup rounds, we'll be having a quick look at the updated schedule. A lot of you are asking for a chip strategy video. That will be coming. Just want to see the FA Cup round draws on Monday night, because to be honest, we need them to really be able to decide how big the blank is coming up in game week 28, and so that will affect our chip strategy. So bear with me until I've got that, then I will do a proper chip strategy schedule video for you all to be looking at. But we've got a little bit of that in here, but today we're going to have a look at my game week 22 first sort of transfer plans, what I'm thinking of. I've got 2 free transfers and absolutely no money in the bank. This is how my team is lining up at the moment. Again, I've only got 2 double game week players in here. I will be looking to add a third Manchester United player. I'm also looking at a Leeds player as well. Now, since I last recorded, John Stones looks like he's picked up an injury. This guy has been such a roller coaster ride for me. Of course, he got injured in the double game week and then only got 1 point in the second match. But then he did play against Wolves and got his 8-pointer, and now he looks like he's injured. Now, I was never looking to start him this week anyway, but it means that my potential transfer plans going into the double in game week 23 need to involve selling John Stones, which isn't ideal. I don't necessarily need to do it this week, and I've got an eye on selling him next week instead, and we'll talk all about my plans for next week, looking at the Manchester United double this week and then the Manchester City one next week along with Arsenal. So this is how my team is lining up at the moment. Again, 2 free transfers. We do have Salah still in there. I will be looking to offload him this week. I'm quite happy with Mahrez, although the benching could be just around the corner. He could fall out with Pep at any moment. Captaincy on Marcus Rashford. Will also talk about triple captaincy and whether we should be considering it this week if we haven't played it. So a quick reminder of the schedule that we've got. Again, I wouldn't really be worrying too much beyond game week 25 at the moment. We will be having reviews of what's going on once we get a clearer review of double game week 29 and blank game week 28 that we're likely to get as well. So don't worry about that. At the moment, I'm not planning too much beyond game week 25. But of course, we now have no asterisks next to game week 22, the double that we have for Manchester United against Leeds and Crystal Palace. Then we have Leeds playing Manchester United and Nottingham Forest as well. We have the double in game week 23 that we've known for a very long time. And we've had the first half of the EFL Cup semi-finals. Manchester United taking a strong lead into the second leg, which means that Manchester United versus Brentford is very likely to be a blank in game week 25, which means West Ham versus Nottingham Forest is likely to be on. Then also Newcastle took a 1-0 lead into the second leg. Again, they're playing at home in the second leg against Southampton. You would expect that they do progress into the second round, into the final of that cup, meaning that Newcastle versus Brighton is also likely to not take place in game week 25, and Leeds versus Southampton will. What this means is, again, buying the likes of Brighton assets at the moment, buying the likes of Newcastle defenders at the moment is probably not a top priority for me, but it does boost the potential output that I could get from a Leeds player like Gnonto if I was going to buy him, for example, because we do have a nice fixture for him in game week 25 that could potentially be at home to Southampton if Southampton get knocked out of the cup. There is a very, very small chance that there could still be a fixture for Newcastle against Brighton push back into the midweek after the blank in game week 25, so they still would have a fixture in game week 25. There is a possibility that that does happen. They probably would announce that after the EFL Cup games in the midweek, so potentially before the game week 22 deadline. Again, I still don't think now's the time to be buying into Brighton or Newcastle assets unless that gets announced. So be under the sort of illusion that that fixture will not take place, and then if we get lucky that it gets thrown in there, then it's something different. Now, just one of the graphics that I'm going to use in my big sort of chip strategy video. I've posted this on Twitter and a lot of you like this. You find it very, very simple to understand. You see where things are going to fall. Again, a lot of you, again, if you want the full graphic that you can download that doesn't have me talking in the side, that's just this, there is a version, and there is the chip strategy version of it as well. Basically what this has is all the doubles between now and the end of the season. You have them color coded in green, you have the blanks in red, and then you have normal game weeks in yellow. This is speculation. This is where we think things are likely to fall based on what the likes of Ben Crellin and the Planet FPL guys are predicting at the moment. It's not 100% 100% accurate, but it gives us a pretty good understanding of it. So after game week 25, the blank, again, the double in game week 26, there is a free midweek that they could decide to throw some fixtures into in that one. Chances are they might add 1 or 2 in there. It's not going to be a massive one, so that's why it's a small double. The next big thing that we need to be planning for, and this is where the chip strategy will start playing, is the blank in game week 28 caused by the 6th round of the FA Cup, and then of course game week 29, which is likely to be a double game week, again with a lot of those fixtures from game week 28 going into that game week 29 midweek. So also after that, there is game week 30, 31, on to 32 being a blank game week caused by the following round of the FA Cup, game week 34 double, game week 37 double in there as well. There will be a chip strategy video, but that is basically what we need to think about after game week 25. So before we look at my potential transfers, one of the big talking points, I've got Marcus Rashford in my team, and should we be triple captaining him? Crystal Palace at home, Leeds at home is one of the best doubles I think we will see all season, and he is one of the most in-form players that we have in the Premier League at the moment. He didn't get anything against Reading in the FA Cup, did get taken off after about 65 minutes because the game was won. Did have a goal ruled out for offside as well. If you look at his returns since the restart as well in the Premier League, 14, 5, 8, 10, 2 and 7. The last couple were against Crystal Palace where he had his only blank, and then 7 against Arsenal in there as well. If you sort of add up all the joining figures, so every 2 consecutive game weeks, he averages over 10 points for a double, which would be beating what Haaland scored in game week 21 for those who played their triple captain on him then. I do like it as an option. I do think he will play both. He's on really good form. He has a really nice double. I'm about 75% sure I will be playing my triple captaincy on Marcus Rashford. If you don't want to play it and you still have it, first of all, let me know in the comments when else are you planning on playing your triple captaincy. Is there a particular week? Are you waiting for Haaland in game week 23? Or are you going to save it for a random double later on in the season that we might get in the likes of game week 37, for example? I think I will play it. 75% sure that I will activate my triple captain on Marcus Rashford. The fixtures are too nice. The form is there. And I don't necessarily foresee a better double. It just means I won't be playing my triple captain on Erling Haaland, which just feels so wrong given how good this guy has been. So on to transfer plans. We're 8 or so minutes into the video and I'm only just talking about what the video title is called. If you haven't already, please make sure to smash the like button on the video. We're going to try and hit 1,000 likes. And if you haven't subscribed around here, make sure you drop that subscribe and help support the channel. So planned transfers for game week 22. Now that the double for Manchester United is taking place, I would be shocked if I don't do Salah to Bruno Fernandes as one of my 2 free transfers this week. I think it's pretty nailed on. I can then potentially look at another Manchester City next week. I just think having Fernandes in for Mo Salah, who's not on form at the moment, just feels like a really, really obvious transfer. Let's see. I'm recording before the Liverpool-Brighton game. If they look suddenly amazing today, then I might consider doing something else, but it does add the extra double game week player in there in Fernandes. I've just got to bear in mind that in game week 25 he's likely to have a blank, but he's unlikely to stick around in my team for more than 1 week for the double, to be honest. The other transfer that I am eyeing up, and I am 50-50 about whether I'm going to do it, is Greenwood to Gnonto. Of course, Gnonto didn't feature in the FA Cup game, but you don't need to worry about that. He picked up a yellow card in both of the previous rounds. They had a replay, so he actually picked up a yellow card in the first round and then in the replay as well, which means he was suspended for their match at the weekend. So he's fine to play. He's not unfit. He's not injured or anything like that we know of. He could also have those, but that's not why he missed out. Game week 22, of course, the double. Game week 25, Southampton at home. Again, game week 28, they may end up playing. They're still in the cup, but let's see how the draw goes for them. It's mainly game week 22 double and game week 25 as well. I'll probably end up having to buy him for game week 25, whether I buy him this week or not. It does just mean I have to take a -4 in the short term, and we'll talk about that in the next sort of slide, next sort of graphic. But Salah to Fernandes is pretty much locked in. I don't know if I'm going to do it now, or I probably will wait until after their midweek game. I don't expect Fernandes to start that. I do think he'll be on the bench and be given a bit of a rest, but I might wait on that unless we have potential price rises on him. So moving on is why the first transfer in doing Greenwood to Gnonto isn't necessarily that nailed on. First of all, if I do that and I bring him in, I'm going to want to start him in the double away at Forest and away at Manchester United, 2 quite good defences. I will have to bench one of Riyad Mahrez, Harry Kane and Martinelli as well. Mahrez plays Spurs, Kane plays Man City, at home though, and then Martinelli plays Everton. I just can't see myself really wanting to bench them. And it also means that my transfers that I planned for Game Week 23, I would have to do for a -4. And if I didn't do that second move and just rolled the extra transfer, I could do both of those for free next week. And those are Stones down to Bueno, or a cheaper defender if we get announcements of doubles in Game Week 26 onwards before the Game Week 23 deadline. I then also would have the money to do Fernandes up to De Bruyne and go for that triple Manchester City attack. Now, a lot of you have De Bruyne, maybe getting cold feet on him. I do still think he's the most nailed Manchester City defender. I like having Mahrez, but not having De Bruyne is still causing me quite a headache. So I've got 2 transfers that I'd quite like to do this week and bringing in Gnonto and bringing in Bruno Fernandes. But the Gnonto move means that I would have to bench someone quite good this week, and I would have to take a -4 next week anyway to do my 2 free transfers because John Stones is now out injured and I want the triple Manchester City attack. So that means if you're probably thinking, well, Harry, don't do it. It's pretty obvious that you shouldn't do it. But the only thing is then, I will have to do that move going into Game Week 25 anyway, because I need the players on my bench, because I've got Rashford, Shaw and Trippier, who are all likely to blank in Game Week 25 anyway. And potentially I will need the extra transfers later down the line. So if I do it for a -4 next week, or the 2 transfers for a -4 next week, I then have an extra transfer further down the line. So I don't think I'm going to end up doing it, but it does benefit me more in the longer term if I do decide to take the hit earlier on. So if those transfer plans made any sense to you at all, I'm basically pretty certain Salah to Bruno Fernandes is going to be one of my transfers this week. I'm also then really eyeing up the triple captaincy on Marcus Rashford. It's not active, it's not locked in, but I'm about 75% certain I will be playing the triple captaincy on Marcus Rashford going into his double in Game Week 22 of Crystal Palace and Leeds. This will give me the triple Manchester United attack. I like the look of it. I potentially think at the moment I will roll my second transfer. I don't necessarily think I need to take that -4 going into Game Week 23. And then it will allow me to sell John Stones. It will allow me to go and get Kevin De Bruyne and have triple Manchester City attack for their double, have triple Arsenal for their double as well. Now, I don't love the triple Arsenal that I've got at the moment. If I was potentially wildcarding, White would be out. I'd probably go Gabriel. Martinelli would also be Odegaard as well. So I do have one eye on potentially going sideways on some of those moves as well. Not going to be doing them this week, I don't think. I currently plan on just making one move of selling Mo Salah, bringing in Bruno Fernandes, allowing me to make 2 transfers next week. Again, there will be a chip strategy video. If you do have questions about your chip strategy, the blanks doubles, drop it all in the comment section down below. If you have questions about your team as well, let me know in the comment section or over on Twitter. Don't forget to like the video. We're going to try and hit 1,000 likes on the video. This is the crunch point in FPL. This is the point in the season where we start making those rank gains. We start winning our mini leagues because of the planning that we can do for the doubles, for the blanks, and for our chips as well. That is what makes the difference in FPL. So if you want to get a head start, a helping hand, make sure you subscribed, like the video before you go, and I'll be back again very soon.